So how can we get rid of the people we don't want when they're already here?
But anybody who's here on a visa, we can take it away. And look, this is something we've already been doing. You know, a visa is a privilege. It's not a right. You have no right to come here if you're a foreigner. You're only allowed here if what you are doing here is to the advantage of the British people more widely. Look at, since those protests started in October, look at what we've already done on some of those student visas. If you come here claiming you want to study and start spreading hatred, I'm afraid that's not what your visa's for. Let's be clear. If that's what you want to do, go find somewhere else to do it.
Foreign hate preachers are facing tough new measures in the UK following the Rochdale by-election. The government is taking action against extremism, especially targeting those spreading hate at pro-Palestine events. This crackdown comes after a rise in anti-Semitism following the Hamas attacks on Israel in October. Ministers are now considering cancelling visas for troublemakers and preventing them from entering the UK altogether. The Border Force already has the authority to deny visas to individuals deemed non-conducive to the public good, typically reserved for national security threats. But ministers are now looking to extend the definition more broadly to include those spreading hatred. Rishi Sunak hinted at this in his powerful address to the nation last Friday, urging the country to face down the extremists who would tear us apart. This new initiative aims to prevent individuals from promoting hate speech and inciting division within communities. Prime Minister Rishi Sunak emphasised that Home Secretary James Cleverly has instructed officials to closely scrutinise the visas of foreigners who choose to spew hate at protests or seek to intimidate people. Sunak further asserted, "We will not hesitate to remove their right to be here." This robust stance aims to safeguard communities and uphold values of tolerance and respect. It marks a significant step in the government's efforts to combat extremism and promote social harmony. This approach mirrors the actions taken in France, where numerous extremists have been expelled since October the 7th. Just last month, a Tunisian imam, despite living in France for 40 years, was deported for making unacceptable remarks. Imam had lived in France since he was 12, but after he called the French flag satanic, he was arrested and deported back to Tunisia within 8 hours. This crackdown comes amidst mounting concerns over the escalation of extremism following the October 7th attacks. According to the Mail on Sunday, MPs were briefed yesterday that the threat of a terror attack on British soil is currently at its highest level since 9/11. Speaking to reporters, one MP who received the briefing from security services expressed alarm, stating, "The amount of extremist chatter we're seeing is unprecedented." Jonathan Hall KC, the independent reviewer of counterterrorism legislation, also highlighted the gravity of the situation, noting he had not encountered such open extremism since assuming his role in 2019. Lord Walney, the government's independent advisor on tackling political violence, urged MPs yesterday to sever ties with the Palestine Solidarity Campaign, citing its organisation of numerous events supporting Gaza since October 7th. He emphasised that support should only resume once the campaign removes hate from its marches. Chancellor Jeremy Hunt echoed these concerns, stressing the need for government action to uphold the traditional British virtue of tolerance. Speaking on GB News, he highlighted recent protests that he described as intimidating, causing some people to feel unsafe leaving their homes. Chancellor Jeremy Hunt emphasised yesterday that decisive government action is necessary to preserve the long-standing British virtue of tolerance. In an interview with GB News, Hunt underscored the importance of upholding this fundamental value in the face of recent events. He highlighted concerns over protests that have been described as intimidating, causing some individuals to feel unsafe in their own neighbourhoods. Labour education spokesman Bridget Phillipson expressed support for stringent measures against extremism, but emphasised that the right to protest is a fundamental cornerstone of our democracy. Over the weekend, pro-Palestine demonstrations continued across England and Wales, with local protests targeting Barclays Bank over its historical connections with Israel. During a march towards a Barclays branch in Central London on Saturday, demonstrators controversially chanted "From the river to the sea," a slogan criticised by some for advocating the elimination of Israel. A larger march through the capital, organised by the Palestine Solidarity Campaign, is scheduled for the upcoming Saturday. Let us know your thoughts on these developments in the comments section below. Your perspective is valuable as we navigate this critical issue affecting our safety and community. Don't forget to like, subscribe and hit the notification bell to stay updated on the latest news and discussions.